Leslie, if you want to take it away.
Certainly. Oops, and I just punched my microphone. The chariot is really just a large metal carriage. It has benches inside with an open top. There are no horses, of course, and it seems to move on its own. It is the first time that I've ever seen wheels used as transportation here, though. As we're walking up to it, I notice Virginia and Neferu already sitting in the front, and Cassius is in the back with Alex. He's very deliberately looking away from us. I whisper to Amicus as we get closer to the carriage.
Cassius is going?
Yes, I think Kato made him go.
Despite everything the White Wolf has done, especially in the trial, I can't help but feel a little sorry for him. I can't imagine having to go out in public right after your years-long campaign was defeated. Amicus hops in first, sitting next to Virginia before reaching down to pull me up next to him.
I thought we'd be flying there.
We usually do, but since the ship we used to take to the city crashed a few months ago, we decided the chariot is safer and more inconspicuous.
Yes, something that will come in handy considering the state of the city right now.
Yes,
What's the state of the city?
Virginia fixes her eyes on me, really looking at me for the first time in a while.
Riots, looting, the usual, though a bit unusual for Adastra City compared to, say, Lux.
Amicus glances at me, but that's when a sudden jerk of the chariot moves forward towards the tree line. Virginia looks at Amicus.
I must say, your pet is much more fascinating than I originally thought. He could barely speak when I first met him.
yes, he was shy.
I guess I should have told Amicus that my act has been exposed at this point.
Well, we must reconnect with this Semia, then. They seem oddly intelligent.
Yes. All thanks to God for the trees. Vito is so much, Vito is too harsh today.
Amicus clearly trying to change the subject as the road turns into a thick forest. We're blanketed in an eerie green glow as the forest envelops us. Strange glowing insects fly around our carriage, and I notice how ancient the trees look, gnarled and rough, almost completely blocking out the sky.
Hopefully they allow us to freshen up a bit before the ceremony. I'll be a mess by the time we reach the city.
Virginia whips out her large embroidered fan again, waving it frantically in her face. I kind of wish I had one too, my skin almost immediately sticky in the humid air.
You will look fine. Besides, we'll all be in the same state.
Amicus glances over at the jackal.
I have to wonder what brought you along, Neferu.
My presence was requested.
By whom?
Oh, for the sake of Vita, don't start, Amicus.
What? I'm simply curious.
No, you're trying to start a fight, which is the last thing we need in front of the Triumvirates. Besides, isn't it your policy to befriend Chemians?
An alliance isn't a friendship.
Chemians see it as a friendship.
Besides, everyone probably thinks you're already very close after what was broadcast.
Virginia!
She hides her smirk behind the fan as Neferu grins beside her.
I'm simply reminding you that it might be still fresh in everyone's mind when we get there.
Amicus slumps in his seat, legs stretched out in front of him.
All the more reason to sing distance. That will probably affect my reputation for years.
Oh, don't be dramatic. The people love such scandals. They simply pretend to be outraged.
Amicus snorts, but doesn't really say anything more, signaling that the conversation is over. I wonder if Cassius, sitting right behind us, is listening in. Probably. I find the whole thing strange. The wolf that tried to sabotage Amicus by leaking what basically is a porno sitting right behind us. I turn my head over slightly, trying to look back at Cassius to see if he's looking at us. I don't see anything, so I turn around more fully and find that the white wolf is lying down, eyes closed with his head in Alex's lap. Alex looks up at me and smiles with a wave. I wave back awkwardly before quickly turning around. Virginia and Neferu seem to be caught up in their own conversation at the moment, while Amicus continues to sulk, staring at his feet.
So, what exactly is gonna happen when we get there?
Oh, well, the meeting with the Triumvirates, as I said earlier. After that, we'll likely get to walk the streets of the district to visit shops and a restaurant.
So, I'll just stand next to you?
Yes.
Alright.
For the rest of the ride, I lean against Amicus's side. After several minutes, I start to nod off. Amicus notices and wraps his arm around me, and I'm able to comfortably lean against his chest to fall asleep. The next thing I know, I'm being nudged awake by Amicus. I find myself staring at several buildings, the sudden change in scenery leaving me dazed. I'm still trying to get my bearings as Amicus hops out of the carriage, reaching up to lift me down. When I look back up, I'm able to see a large group of wolves off to the side, watching us intently. Immediately, I feel self-conscious, the crowd being the largest group of wolves that I've seen in person. They come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm surprised to see that a few of them are almost as short as I am. One of the characteristics that one of the characteristics that all of them seem to share, though, is their thick-bodied structure. Amicus guides me around to stand in front of the chariot with Neferu, Virginia, Cassius, and Alex holding me close to his side. One of the old wolves stepped forward from the group. Who wants to voice the Triumvirate?
I'll do it if nobody else wants to.
I mean, you guys could talk normally.
Tumbling Leaf, do you want to voice the Triumvirate? You say you want to voice someone.
I could try. Are they supposed to be like an old person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Sure.
One of the old wolves steps forward from the group.
I mean, we could have multiple people just step in randomly because, like, this is going to be like you can tell who is who and what they're talking about. So it's like going to be introduced by like, oh, this person from the city or whatever.
All right.
But yeah,
So,
Leaf, you can go ahead and just read this line.
all right. Welcome, Imperial family. Thank you so much for coming in on this day of the second trial. It was a marvelous show.
That seems like a bold thing to say after a clip of Amicus and Neferu having sex was shown. There doesn't seem to be any awkwardness, though. The old wolf's looking eager to talk to Amicus.
Me again, sorry. I am Cicero, first triumvirate of Ad Rote.
The old wolf walks forward towards Amicus, setting his paws on the bigger wolf's shoulders and touching the side of their muzzles together. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Cassius shooting us a sour, angry look. The wolf and Amicus hold a short conversation. The older wolf asking Amicus what he thought of Adrotai, what problems the city is currently having, and how they might proceed in the future. After that, he then After that, he then moves on to Virginia, where the conversation is much shorter. Another wolf from the group moves forward to talk to Amicus, the conversation following a roughly similar pattern. There's no talk about Amicus being emperor, but the assumption is there. And when each of them gets to Cassius, is almost as equally as brief as it is with Virginia. Despite the novelty of the situation, I quickly become bored. The conversations blend together very quickly as over a dozen of these old wolves come forward to introduce themselves to Amicus. For his part, Amicus does a really good job of seeming enthusiastic for each introduction, mentioning that he already knows who they are, and that he thinks they're very, very highly of their city and region. Occasionally they'll glance at me and comment on how strange I look, though it's usually with a positive tone, congratulating Amicus on snagging me. That does seem to make Amicus uncomfortable, but I keep a straight face and bow each time, seeing the delight in the old wolves with my etiquette. Eventually these introductions end, but as we start to move towards the shops, the Triumvirates continue to follow us, and I find myself having a harder time keeping up with Amicus. He's practically surrounded by the Triumvirates. I give up trying to stay with him, and even though he keeps glancing at me and calls for me a few times, I just wave him on, choosing instead to walk alongside Neferu and Virginia. Sure, it's annoying, but he's about to become emperor, so it makes sense that he's so popular. As we walk through the streets, wolves call out to Amicus from doorways and windows, and he tries to wave at all of them. Further up the road, a group of children, puppies, show up with flowers in their paws, handing them out to Amicus and the Triumvirates. As I watch this happen, I notice a particularly patchy-looking child, no taller than my waist, standing off to the side awkwardly, looking right at me as she holds a flower in her paws. I pause, unsure if she means to give it to me. When I do, she moves closer. So I bend over, reaching out.
We're gonna need a quick pause, real quick.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
Alright.
Pausing on set.
You're all doing great so far.
Cut!
Cut! Who farted into the mic? Gotta go from the top.
All right,
We're
sorry about
cutting
that.
like seconds before
no
disaster
problem.
strikes.
Yeah, Com got a notification.
Oh, I wanted to say that because I'm focusing so much on moving the screens with each line, I have very, very little time to either type or react. So if people who are from the cast can step in on No Mic 2 and, answer questions and make plans for people to join like different characters, understudies, side characters, stuff like that, that would be really, really nice because I literally can't.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing, so yeah.
Good.
Yeah. While we're on break, I had a question, if I may.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
I was wondering if we happen to get one of those lines from the parents, like, you're on the right track, blah, 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 this is as it should be. Should I read it?
That's the monitor, I think.
That's the monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's me too, so I guess that works.
Yeah. The only time the parent speaks is when Marco is possessed.
Oh, well. And right at
Yeah,
the
but that
end,
should be Marco
no,
twice.
when,
No, it's the monitor, I think.
oh, okay, well,
But
good to know.
let me see, Leslie, would you mind reading from this point? Because this is where I got interrupted.
Certainly, I was going to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want, you can go back one more as well. Okay, thank you. I pause, unsure if she means to give it to me. When I do, she moves closer. So I bend over, reaching out, and her eyes widen, probably simultaneously horrified and fascinated at getting the crazy alien's attention. Nevertheless, she comes closer and shyly pushes the crumpled, wilted flower into my hands before suddenly leaning in and touching the side of her face to mine. For a moment, I can see her watery, bloodshot eyes. Then I feel the slightly damp fur brush against my skin before she makes an odd yelping sound and runs off down the street. I stare after her, wondering if I'd done something wrong.
Found yourself a gift?
I look down at the white flower, noticing that several petals are missing.
I guess.
That one didn't look healthy, did she?
Not really.
Maybe Cassius had a point with his speech.
I think they both made good points, honestly.
Neferu gestures at the gaggle of wolves moving further and further away from us.
Better catch up before they leave us behind.
Yeah.
I look down at the flower again, a bit uneasy now, before dropping it onto the road, feeling a little guilty as I do. Even though the ceremony is technically over, the Triumvirates don't seem to want to leave Amicus alone. I'm kind of amazed at how well Amicus is dealing with them, considering how irritated I'm feeling. Amicus tries to bring me over to his side a few times, pointing out trinkets and souvenirs that he tries to explain, as if wanting to show me a bit of Adastrian culture. It's nice, and I can tell he wants to involve me, but it's far too busy with the Triumvirates and locals breaking in every 5 seconds to ask or tell Amicus something. I wish I could just tell them to go away, but I know it doesn't work like that. On top of this, my joints are really starting to ache from all the walking, and I'm wondering if living in the palace for so long has made me soft. Eventually, I just trail the group of wolves, browsing the goods after they do. It's interesting, sure, but everything is so similar to what we have on Earth. Necklaces, earrings, brushes, clothes. Nothing all that mind-blowing. Eventually, Amicus very loudly calls out that he'd like to go to a restaurant with his pet, if everyone could please allow him through. I take this as my cue to move to his side, and he immediately puts an arm around mine, holding me close. As we walk up the street, the many wolves still follow behind us. Amicus puts his muzzle close to my ear, sending a bit of a chill over my neck, one that's oddly painful.
Everything okay, Marco? You seem a bit uncomfortable.
I shrug.
Everything around here is new to me, so I guess I do feel a little bit off.
Well, let's settle down in a restaurant. We can cool off and catch our breath there.
The wolf gives me a quick squeeze with his arm, and despite my slightly sour mood, I can't help but smile a bit. I mean, it's kind of cool that my friend is so popular, even if it's because he's going to be the next emperor. We walk into a small but cozy restaurant, and I can tell right away that it's rather upscale with its carved pillars and the fancy tapestries on the wall. Then again, everything in this district is kind of upscale, I guess. The Triumvirates follow us into the restaurant though, and I let out a frustrated sigh. Amicus notices right away and signals at a wolf standing behind a podium. This particular wolf is staring at us wide-eyed, apparently gobsmacked at seeing the soon-to-be emperor showing up in his restaurant. He practically trips over himself to get to us, banging his hip on the side of a table as he does.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Your Majesty?
Amicus grimaces.
Just Amicus, please. Could you get a secluded table? Preferably with no one seated next to us.
Of course.
The wolf stumbles over himself again before leading us to a corner of the restaurant, gesturing at a table. He He then turns to a couple next to the table and begins to frantically hiss at them to move. They stare at him in astonishment until Amicus steps in to stop him.
They're fine. Just don't let any of that group over there sit next to us, if that's alright.
Amicus jerks his head over at the gaggle of old wolves, all of them staring at us rather hawkishly.
Oh, yes, of course.
He hurries off towards said group, and we're finally able to sit down, or lay down. The seats are, of course, in the Roman style. Amicus settles down with a huge sigh, stretching his big body over the bed.
Sorry about that. I should have warned you about how frustrating it can be with all the pointless chatter.
I shrug.
Seems about right for politics.
No, it is. But don't worry. It's rare that all the Triumvirates are in the city all at once. This is for the trials, of course.
Yeah, makes sense.
Are you sure you're okay? I can never seem to tell.
I'm fine.
I rub my arms. The skin is sensitive and sore, just like my joints. I wonder if I'm getting a sunburn too.
Alright. So what do you think of the city? This part of it, at least, I wish I could take you to where the skyscraper are. But as I said, things are a bit chaotic at the moment.
It's pretty cool. It wouldn't exactly be out of place on Earth. Definitely different, but really similar.
Well, you were uplifted by us after all.
Yeah, so is this what you're gonna do as Emperor? Come to the city and just talk?
Amicus chuckles.
Oh, there will be much more to it, I'm sure. I hope Cato will teach me a bit, if he's able to get over the trial.
I remember that Cato did vote for Cassius. He's probably furious about it right now.
Won't you have, like, advisors and stuff?
Well, yes, but I must choose then.
Okay.
Would you choose Kato?
I could?
Will you?
Yeah, maybe, but the recent events have left me a bit of unsure of that.
Why is that?
Amicus said.
Don't worry about it now. We should be celebrating.
Sorry, my screen blanked out for a second. I need just 1 second.
Oh yeah, take your time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
hey,
your
I
first
drew that.
Yo, what up,
Oh
Haps?
my gosh, Haps.
Hey,
Yo.
Hello.
thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
No, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I
it's a
will-
pleasure.
I will drop.
Thanks
a
for drawing that.
commemorative-
Thanks for the
Well,
cake.
don't mind me. Just keep doing your thing.
Of course.
No.
Right. The thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a commemorative screenshot in chat, and then
For the highlights.
for the highlights. And also, this is gonna be a little embarrassing because I have
Why?
a multi-screen setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
And
Uh-oh.
that was the reason why my screen went black, and I was like, oh no.
Oh.
But yes, okay.
And what a screen to pause on. Let's be
Also,
fair.
1 second.
What a great screen to pause on for sure.
Here it is. Ooh. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect. Now the next line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you could become emperor at any moment, and you have someone who's got a good head on their shoulders at the ready.
Yep, I suppose.
I'll be right back.
What do you suggest?
1 second.
I get the feeling that he's goading me to offer myself, but that definitely wouldn't be the case. The few wolves I know makes the decision pretty easy.
Virginia?
Amicus raises his eyebrows in slight surprise.
Oh, well, yes, I would definitely consider her. The only problem is the image of the female telling me what to do. The Dale Razor reputation is bad enough.
I roll my eyes.
Maybe woven masculinity is something you can fix while you're emperor?
Amicus doesn't seem to know how to answer that, but he doesn't have to as our food arrives. I'm a bit surprised since we didn't order, but looking around, it seems that everyone gets the same thing. There's the usual olives, grapes, cheese, and bread, but also seafood and even eggs, which surprises me. Amicus thanks the nervous waiter before immediately starting to dig in. I do the same, but while I'm spreading cheese into the bread, my mind wanders back to what might be happening in the city right now.
So, how bad are things in the city? No one seems that concerned about it.
I'm back.
From what I've been told, it's fairly mild. Riots are common in Adastra, but they don't last long. I think the people will calm down within the next few days.
Oh, okay. So they don't dislike you or anything?
It takes Amicus a moment to swallow down his mouthful of bread before speaking.
No, most of the anger is directed at the Triumvirates. I will say though, I have my work cut out in rebuilding my reputation.
Because of the sex video?
Yes.
Amicus tries to smile it off lightheartedly, but I can see his ears turning red. It must be weird being out in the public like this, knowing that everyone saw it.
I was told by one of the Triumvirates from Lux to simply say it was fake. Not sure not sure if that will work.
Could be a good idea.
Really? The biggest issue is that delegitimizes the alliance process within the kingdoms. The people will believe that I'm beholden to Neferu somehow.
Amicus's expression finally falls a bit, staring down at the food as his munching slows down.
I'm sure they'll get over it. From what I've been told, it seems like they're quick to forget.
Well, yes, as soon as the next scandal comes along. Hopefully one not involving me.
Yeah.
We eat in silence for a while, and I can tell something heavy is on Amicus's mind. In the meantime, I'm a bit distracted with itching specific parts of my arm, feeling tiny little bumps on the skin. I wonder if I'm allergic to something in the meal, so I stop eating for a moment, choosing instead to lounge out on the bed.
I hope he turns out okay. I don't know.
Oh boy.
You hope what turns out okay?
Marco. Poor little fella.
Totally.
He's gonna be
Marco's gotta be fine.
He's
Totally.
got plot armor.
Hey Knox, how good is your puking voice?
Me? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps I'll add caution because I am sick. So.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
You could always just look up like a vomiting sound effect on YouTube or something.
Sure. If you guys want me to pull one up, I can put that into OBS. It'll be on stream. The splattering
I vote
noises.
against this.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Marco, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Yeah?
Do you want to stay here even after I become emperor?
The question catches me by surprise, and I'm left to try and gather my thoughts for a moment as Amicus continues to look down.
What do you mean?
Amicus sighs and glances at me.
I mean, do you want to stay here with me, even if you have the ability to go home?
Amicus quickly looks down again.
I'm sorry. I know that's not my place to ask, but I thought I might as well ask.
I stared at him for a moment, then I looked down too.
You know I need to go back. At the very least, I need to let my friends and family know that I'm okay. I know that they're looking for me in Italy right now. Probably all of Europe at this point. I need to let them know.
Amicus coughs hastily.
Of course.
But that doesn't mean that I don't want to come back. I do. I just know that there are problems.
I lower my voice as I remember that we're in a public place, and that mentioning illegal first contact would not be a good idea.
If we can fix the problems, honestly, I'd love to come back and stay for a long time.
I kind of surprised myself with that statement, but it's true. Amicus glances at me in surprise.
Really?
Yeah, if it wasn't a risk to your empire.
Of course. I mean to speak to the parents as soon as I'm able. I'm certain we can figure something out.
The look on Amicus's face right now, so sad, but a little hopeful, reminds me of something that I've been wanting to do for the past week.
And Amicus?
Yeah?
I glance around quickly, making sure that the nearby patrons aren't listening.
So we have echoing with both Shaw and Leapy.
No, sorry.
No problem. Just wanted to let
Oh,
you guys
no
know.
problem. Do you want to date me?
The statement, so ridiculous, so silly in this situation, comes out all quiet and weak, but I don't know how else to ask it. The word is so complicated between us with how I've tried to explain it to Amicus. It's something that I don't think I ever said to anyone before, and just like Amicus, I find myself looking down immediately. It's quiet for a moment, and the restaurant suddenly lights up with a golden hue as the sunset hits the windows just right. I hear a long exhalation and realize that the wolf has been holding his breath. I look up then and see Amicus smiling at me. There's a mixture of happiness and relief on his face, maybe even a little amusement. I guess we've been dancing around it for so long. We both know by now that it's what we wanted, but we've been building up to it. What we've been building up to.
Of course, Marco. I'm honored that you have me.
I even see his eyes glistening a bit, and I want to get up right then and there and join him on his bed, but public setting holds me back. I imagine Amicus is feeling the same way, and I wonder if maybe asking here in public wasn't the best place for it. But it was done, and I feel myself grinning despite myself. The wolf grins right back.
Like you said, while I'm here, we might as well get to know each other better. And if you do figure something out, I can come back.
Amicus nods and turns his head in a way that he's able to wipe an eye with his shoulder, probably hoping I wouldn't notice. He looks so relieved, and I realize Even after we made up in the meditation room, he was probably still unsure of where we stood romantically.
But there are boundaries, and if I'm dating you, you have to tell me everything. And no sleeping around behind my back.
Of course, I promise to tell you everything, especially everything that concerns you. And I don't ever intend to breaking that promise to you.
And sleeping around?
Amicus's ears flick and he glances over at our neighbors who are definitely trying to eavesdrop. He lowers his voice a good deal.
Definitely not. Not that I have anyone to be with, but you can discuss all of this when we get back to our room and...
He lowers his voice even more.
maybe do a little more as well.
Oh.
But
His
that
eyes
Neferu
flatten.
Buxi, though.
Sorry, his ears flatten as I roll my eyes, but they come back up as I smile.
Sure.
Immediately, his tail starts thumping the bed, and the eager look in his eyes has me shaking my head. I can't deny that I'm excited too, actually. I'm feeling kind of nervous now that I just promised that to him. How would we...
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry.
Oh no.
How would we even start?
Leslie, the reason that you can't read this stuff is because it just makes you uncontrollably laugh.
Yeah, I'm like so painfully ace. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
I do remember that, but at the same time, it's like, does the ace cause you to laugh?
That's
No,
hilarious.
that's just I have a nervous tick.
Gotcha. Yeah, no problem.
It's cute.
Fine, you're doing great.
Literally.
You are. You literally. You're slaying.
How would we even start? We sit together for a while longer, the conversation moving to more casual topics like how the districts of the city are divided up. Though as the hour passes, I start to feel hot and a little dizzy, and when I mention this to Amicus, he suggests we head back to the palace. Vita is completely set by the time we're heading out towards the carriage. Of course, several delegates surround us as we start to head off, but Amicus promises that he'll only take 10 minutes, and I head up onto the street alone to stand next to the carriage, the chariot. It's a bit nicer out here in the open air compared to the stuffy restaurant. I can tell now that I'm definitely getting sick, and all of the soreness and exhaustion was just the beginnings of a creeping fever that I can feel breaking out across my skin. I end up sitting on the carriage step, head bowed as I feel myself starting to sweat. It's not anything I haven't felt before, but there's an odd prickling sensation underneath it all, like pins and needles just under my skin, leaving me wanting to itch at various places on my body. I wish Amicus would hurry up. The others too, since I'm the only one standing here. I can't even remember where Neferu and Virginia went. Someplace shopping, I think.
Simeon.
Cassius's voice is low and quiet to my left, and I glance over to see him leaning up casually against the chariot. I make a half-hearted attempt at bowing at him, sort of just flopping my head in his direction. The wolf glares before walking up to me.
What game are you playing?
Now is probably the worst time for this to happen.
Game?
I mumble out stupidly, looking towards the restaurant to see Amicus through the crowd gathered in the front.
Do not act stupid. I know you are capable of understanding.
I just shake my head, but immediately regret it as I feel all the food I had just eaten roll around in my stomach. I'm really sick, way more than I realize, and I can't believe how hard and fast it's hitting me.
Do you remember several weeks back in which you served me during the midday meal? Virginia and Neferu were there.
I just sit sit in silence now, worried that moving at all is going to make things worse, make me hurl.
Of course you remember. You told the Triumvirates about what I intended to do with them, didn't you?
Cassius moves closer, but the feelings coursing through my body leave me not caring at all that much about him right now. I need to get to Amicus. I need to tell him that something's wrong. I hug myself, feeling the prickly sensation erupt to the surface. My skin on my arms and chest and legs burning and itching in the most horrible way. I gasp.
What is that? Some sort of simian language? Listen to me. I want to know what you told them and how you knew to tell them.
I feel bumps on my arms. Bumps that weren't there just minutes ago. I look down, and even though it's hard to see in the darkness, I'm at least able to see that the skin is splotchy and discolored. Shakily, I touch one of the splotches and watch a tear of clear liquid ooze out.
Ew.
What the hell?
Oh.
Something grabs the front of my robes and pulls me up.
Are you listening, pet? I said...
I was worried about small movements, but the huge lurch pushing my stomach over the edge, and I immediately projectile vomit straight onto the middle of Cassius's torso. We both stare at the mess on his white fur while it's starting to drip down heavily onto his garments.
Oh gods! Oh gods!
The wolf screeches, and at the same time, I vomit again, right into the same spot. Cassius immediately stumbles back, screeching as he waves his paws aimlessly at the mess, then actually starts to retch himself. I'm not able to see if he's actually throwing up too. Instead, I crumple to sit on the ground, feeling the world spin around me. Thankfully, the next thing I hear is Amicus's voice. It sounds like he's coming from far away, even though I can tell he's crouched right next to me.
What did you do to him, Cassius?
I did nothing. He...
I hear splattering noises.
Michael, happened? What's wrong?
I sway, and Amicus lets me lean into him despite my vomit-covered clothes.
I don't know.
Was it the food? Are you...
I stick out an arm, and I feel the wolf catch it, delicately, examining it.
Gods.
He mumbles it under his breath.
What? What happened? Cassius?
I hear more footsteps, and for some reason, I feel myself becoming embarrassed that everyone is seeing me like this.
That barbarian! Ugh! He vomited on me!
It sounds like... I'm sorry, this sentence is funny. It sounds like Cassius is about to cry, and for some reason, that's pretty funny to me right now.
I mean, it says it in the line.
I tried to laugh, but my throat is so sore.
Virginia, he's sick.
We need to get him back to the palace. Get in the carriage.
It's too slow.
I feel the world tilt as I seem to just levitate off the ground. Then I realize that Amicus has picked me up.
The Praetors have much faster vehicles. We could get one of them from them.
Marco?
I hear his voice, but for some reason I can't respond. It's like a dream.
There's no time. I'm running back.
Amicus!
Okay, I'm going to sip some water really quick, because I know there's a lot coming up.
Oh boy.
Kind of fruity.
Actually, this is a perfect spot for an intermission. Can we take a 10?
Yeah, let's take a time.
Yeah. All right, so we have Haps in the chat. Woo!
Oh no!
Hello.
Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll distract. I've given us a distraction. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Here.
Oh.
Wow, we got a distraction. Let's
Yeah,
go. Haps
I
stream,
guess-
Haps stream.
It's
10-minute
Speaking
distraction.
alligator.
Oh
You
my.
got slit in stream.
Okay. Good man, good man.
Average Floridian.
What?
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Average Floridian.
Do you care to repeat that for the rest of the class? Like,
Okay, that deep voice though. Whoever did that deep voice.
Whose voice was that? Speak up.
Yeah,
That was
speak
me.
up.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh.
Pussy.
you just activated 80% of the people in here. Like, you just reached inside of their brain with your finger and hit frappe.
Kind
my
of did.
God.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I have every right to ask if Pup Doom is single.
No, I'm not. I have a husband, but we are in an open relationship.
Oh.
There's hope. Yeah.
Aw, it's so cool.
I'm glad there's two of us with deep voices.
Oh my
Listen, we need you guys to take voices roles. Like, you should-
Oh my god.
as soon as
Nah, bro, this apartment got thin ass walls. I ain't trying to do all that.
yeah.
I'll take him.
You could read the sexy time scene if you want.
The sexy time scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Now, let's not objectify
horny.
his voice now.
Oh wait,
Okay.
you mean you want to
But I
hear?
absolutely agree.
You want to hear the young ape line in a deep voice?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
What is
god.
that?
Oh my god.
Not the young ape line.
No. Not the
I'm
young
so
ape
worried.
plays.
Well, there is a sexy time scene coming up. I was gonna read it because Leslie
Yes,
was
yes,
too busy
there is.
laughing. You can read it if you want, though. I will acquiesce to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would start crying, but not for the reason that you want me to.
It's okay if you don't want to. I'll do it.
Yeah.
You guys can see how long I
Whoa.
last with the wisdom checks because I did not make it through the first one.
Peer pressure.
Peer
Yeah.
pressure. You don't have to though.
You don't
It's
have to
like-
if you don't
There's
want
3, 6,
Let's
9,
make a sport out of it.
12, 15,
Yeah, there's-
18,
There's a whole crowd in here. I'm surprised.
21,
Like, we don't usually have this big of a crowd,
This
but
is-
today is just like
24.
This is double the largest
There's
crowd that
there's
we've ever had.
I think there's 27 people in here.
Yeah.
27.
There's
Hey
26.
guys, if you can
Oh,
do
oops.
me a favor and go to my Twitch stream and watch it for 30 seconds, that would be great.
Okay.
Allow me to hit my monthly goal. That would be nice. I would really
Okay.
like that.
We should just
Twitch-
get together
I see.
Twitch
every,
link in
every
bio.
weekend. Get together every weekend, and whoever tries to be an active Twitch streamer, just you get 30 people just to watch it for like a minute. That's it.
Yeah.
Not even, yeah.
I think I'm already subscribed. I think.
Hell yeah.
Wait,
Oh my
I thought-
gosh, Chris, you're living your
That is
dreams.
different.
You're living your dreams, Chris.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, like literally, I already have a friend who's like a really, really cool streamer, and they honestly like their friend group are just telling me it's like, oh yeah, you could do stuff with us, and
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my gosh, yo. That was a TV.
Hang on, Haps. Hang on.
but the thing is like they play Final
What?
Fantasy 14 so much, and I'm such a baby at that game.
Oh my gosh, Final Fantasy 14.
It's okay.
I'm trying to find it. Some memes
I-
on my gallery to make an Adastra version of it.
I bet you 90% of the people in here are babies when it comes to phasmophobia.
I have not played
Okay,
Fast.
I have not played
Especially on
Phasmophobia.
especially on Nightmare.
What
Terribly
is
I would love to start playing that game again. I haven't played it in like a year.
Asylum Nightmare mode.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
I get
It
really
is pain. It is.
scared.
It is actual pain. It is actual
Take-
pain.
Take a shot every time somebody dies.
How am I
Take
supposed
10
to play a
if
video
full
game when
party
I'm too
life.
busy crying?
Right?
Me playing Echo for the first time.
Oh god, I did. That is so true.
I actually have my Final Fantasy group. They're doing a Discord reading of it tomorrow.
Nice.
First, everyone's first time reading it. And I'm just like,
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
gonna-
happy.
Oh, no.
I'm so happy.
Oh,
Every single
no.
person in there is brand new to it.
How could
Oh
you do
my
it to him?
gosh!
Oh,
How can you
God,
do it to
no.
them? They're gonna.
Oh, you should
my
go with
gosh.
Flynn first.
Those twigs have had it for too good for too long, and they now must suffer.
What is the thing that you guys are reading though?
Oh my god.
They're reading Echo.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! What?
No, you
Yeah.
always have him do TJ's route first, and then you
Absolutely
make him
not. Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
I am going to forbid TJ's route first.
I was really
Yeah.
hoping that I would be able to do a voice.
You gotta go
route.
Leo's route.
Oh, I think
No,
it's a different group.
no,
Leo's
you gotta go
route is
down.
a good
You gotta
starter.
do Route 65 or whatever it is, and then go to Echo.
Yeah, I agree. We should do.
You gotta do the prequel.
Is it going to be held after this?
We are reading Echo after this, so.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean after?
You gotta read Benefits first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like after all of Adastra.
I thought you guys meant it's like, oh, it's happening later today, and I was like, fuck, that's.
Oh
crazy.
no,
No,
it's for that person. It's for that person.
Already, that
for
would be
us,
crazy.
for us, we're reading it later.
Good. Because hey.
Wait, I gotta.
Because imagine reading two traumatic readings at the same time.
I couldn't handle it.
Can't be.
I will gladly offer my voice to read Echo stuff.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There's way
I volunteer for Flynn because I'm very good at talking to my friends like that.
Hey, Haps. Since you're in here, Haps, I got a question. So, Interrea is the third set of the series, right?
Yeah.
Is it getting continued anymore?
Yeah, it is. I got
think
contacted by Howley
after-
to get started on it. I'm just waiting for his response.
Ah.
Oh, okay. I actually have a question
worry.
for you too. What the fuck is the arrow on the forehead supposed to mean?
I drawing for
An
you.
arrow. I like Avatar.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
That's
It's
like,
wasn't
it's
an
like for
arrow.
some
It
reason
wasn't
I was.
actually an arrow. It was supposed to be a flame, but you see whatever you want to see.
The arrow's perfect.
Yeah,
Why do I-
I was like, I just like for some reason like I knew it was there, but for some reason today I really looked at it and I'm like, why the fuck do you exist?
Why not? Because it's cool.
It's not a bad thing. It was not a
The
bad thing.
rule of cool.
It just got my brain
It's-
thinking. Like,
It's almost like the Tide Pod pin on the.
oh,
The Tide Pod.
It's a typo.
I don't have a lot of power writing wise, but as I see it, is like the arrow symbolizes that someone has an easier connection with the parents.
Oh my goodness.
So they're-
guys.
Oh my
If
god.
people watch Haps
Okay.
stream right now, he's got Amicus on.
He's
it.
got disassociating Amicus on screen.
So
Because
cute.
Hey, Haps.
the face
Haps.
is slightly misaligned on my end.
Hey, Haps. Hey.
Is that Mo?
Hey,
Hey.
Oh,
Just
whoa.
waving in the crowd. Hello. I'm gonna say hi and bye.
All right.
I think we're ready to get started again.
Yes, we are about to get started again.
Alright, bye.
So go ahead, everybody. Start muting. We're gonna have the people talking soon. The last thing, in No Mic 2 right now, if people are requesting roles, for the future Echo read, go ahead and start requesting. Like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then when we get closer to the end of this, we'll be able to have like a list prepared for a majority of the characters so that we don't have to put too much work into asking the whole server. Because this last time there was, I believe, like 4 solid episodes that we were recording where we were struggling to find people to fill in, and we want to be better prepared than that in the future.
When are we doing Echo?
It's gonna be after Adastra.
This is right after Adastra, so.
Okay, Lord.
Are
we doing it like in the same server or?
Yes.
is it,
Yes,
like,
in the
different-
same server. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's probably gonna be in about 5 weeks, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
5-6
Probably.
weeks.
5 or
Well,
6
yeah.
weeks is enough time for us to finish, and like I don't know, maybe we'll do a 3-hour stream for the last one. Whatever it takes to get the thing finished, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then that's when we're gonna open up the audition stuff for Echo, and then we'll do the whole thread thing as well.
Oh my, auditions. Oh.
Yes, sir. We gotta get
I mean,
auditions
Oh,
the thing
you
is, you
sound
think,
terribly
yeah,
professional now.
auditions is like, oh.
Yeah.
I'd be too nervous for that.
I can help with casting if that's...
Yes.
I am confident in my Flint stuff. I'm not.
There's even more people now. Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I'm also still really surprised I even got Marco. Bucky left, and then Nick left. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not Marco.
You're doing an excellent job, Noxvia.
Okay, I'm gonna dead ass just drop my Twitch link in chat right now because like I can't pass this up. I can't pass this up.
I'm watching.
Let's milk this opportunity.
Literally.
I'm watching.
Hey, give me the link.
Oh my god,
Give me the link.
Amicus. 40-year-old Amicus.
Oh my god.
So somebody actually did want me to do this Sussy scene?
If you want
or
to,
whoever
I'll
else,
do it.
whoever else it
only
was.
you want to. If
you're not going to do it, I'll do it. Because I was already going to be doing it.
Who's the other person with the deep voice? That was Pup, right?
Yeah, that was
Pup. Yeah, that's...
Pup, you do it.
No.
Pup said
I do
no because
half,
they're-
you do half.
Fucked up.
I'll do it. It's all right.
I'll try.
All right, there
I'll
you
try.
go. Give me the old college try there, bud.
Wait,
I am in college.
How about this? How about we let Beowulf do the funny lines?
The funny line.
The funny line, the ape one.
Is that during this
It's
scene
been
though,
a-
or is
it's
it
been
during
a-
the?
since I played
that
this.
was during Lover's Day.
That's way
I think
later.
that's the Lover's Day one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see
It's-
what happens.
It's
We'll
been
play
a
by
minute
ear.
since I've gone through Adastra, so
Anyway, we are getting back to the stream. We are starting off with Leslie as usual.
One of these days, someone else will go first. We ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel my body bouncing up and down, thrown left and right. It's like I'm on some kind of demented thrill ride. I reach out into the darkness to stop it somehow, but all I feel is something furry and warm. Everything hurts and itches at the same time.
What is this?
Marco, hey, stay with me. I'm here.
Who? I force my eyes open, though they burn so much. I stare up at the gnarled things above me, and I wonder what they are. All that comes to mind are bony, skinless hands reaching up to the sky.
Can you hear me?
There's a breathless, wheezing voice above me as the terrible bouncing ride continues. I just want to sleep. There's another sound, an odd, droning one, and an earthquake finally stops.
Amicus, get in, you fool!
Oh my god.
Neferu, he's having seizures. He has pustule all over his body.
The voice above me sobs and gasps, and I want to reach out and put a hand over its mouth so that it's quiet, so that I can sleep.
Calm yourself. Virginia's having a physician flown into the palace. You need to.
Everything mercifully goes quiet again. I float through a void of quiet, soft black clouds that tickle the nip of my skin. It itches, and I want to itch, but something seems to be holding me down. I open my eyes slowly, staring up at the ceiling. I'm starting to get really annoyed that I can't just fall asleep. I have so much to do tomorrow. We're going on a trip to Naples, I think, to try the authentic Italian pizza. I'm gonna have a terrible time if I don't get at least a little. I realize that I can't move. Icy fear grips my chest, and at the same time, I see something large skitter up the wall. A giant spider scuttling up the wall. A giant spider skittle upwards, its movements off, like it's a puppet being pulled up by strings. It moves across the ceiling, and even though it's the size of a giant crab, I can't move at all. I grit my teeth as it comes
Oh,
to
we
stop
actually
above
have
my...
a line in between.
Oh, sorry. That's Alex.
This is Alex?
Yeah, it's like
Oh, gotcha.
echo in its head.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read that one then. Adastra and arachnids are disturbingly large. Wait, did that go through?
It did.
Yes.
Okay.
I heard your
making sure.
voice.
Yeah, just making sure.
Okay. I grit my teeth as it comes to stop above my head, then falls straight down into my face, legs fanned out.
Get off!
I shove at it, at the things pressing onto my face. We need a doctor.
This one was Leapy, I think, was doing this one.
Doctor! We need a doctor!
No, we had no one for the doctor.
Yeah, this is Felix, actually, which
I
was the
can fill
character
in.
I was supposed to voice at first.
I'll do it.
Leafy, go. Leaf, go.
Leaf. Yeah, okay, Leaf.
Oh, no, you can do it.
Or was it Rarel? Is Rarel still
I mean,
in
if it's
chat?
Leaf already, then let's Leaf do it.
Told you to hold him down.
Entorine, Michael, listen to me, please. You're safe. We're helping you.
I focus on the monsters above me, their massive white teeth and red glowing eyes. It's horrible hands that come down to press on me, and I feel the prickling pain all over my skin. I thrash around, but it's no use. They're too strong.
At the doctor again?
Also
Yes.
Felix.
Okay. He's having another seizure.
I lean against the side of a building on an empty road. The night is peaceful and quiet, mostly quiet. I hear clopping sounds in the distance, galloping sounds. I frown and lead forward a bit, looking up the dark road. I see a horse running towards me, his eyes glowing red, and spits flies from his mouth. Afraid, I press myself close to the building, but the horse ignores me. Instead, as it runs past me, I see that it's dragging something. A wolf's headless body, the arms spread out, the stump leaving a long red streak across the cobblestone. I open my mouth to scream. Also Felix.
Gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
You have nothing on record for his species.
Can profile him.
Is there a reason why we don't?
Just healing, please. It's just having a pox.
Well, clearly it has a different effect on his species. His nervous system is already damaged beyond repair. You should consider...
Things never seem to go as planned, do they? I am sorry that you had to experience this. I did not foresee it. Do not worry. You are still on the correct course. You will be able to complete this task. It just needs a little time. Understand that this will not be easy, even for the parents. The pain will be temporary.
What's happening?
You will know in time, but not yet.
Time loses meaning. Blackness, simultaneously eternal and non-existent. Nightmares ebb and flow, building and fading. Scenes from my early childhood to my landing on Adastra, all warped by horrific and violent imagery that never happened. But as soon as each one ends, I forget. Just like any other dream, except one. I'm huddled in the seat of the ship, freezing cold, numb with desperation and fear of impending death. How is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? I glanced up at the crumpled form of the wolf in the back of the ship. His head is framed by a pool of blood, a metal pipe just a few feet away where I dropped it. I made a huge mistake. The anger and terror I've been feeling over the past several hours, days, weeks, builds up until I scream and smash both of my fists into the glowing panels in front of me. The next thing I know, light blasts the interior of the ship and I cover my face with my hands. Still, the light pierces through and I see blood red. The ship vibrates violently, and I know right away that we're going to be pulled into it. I reach out despite the impossible light, uselessly pounding at the unresponsive panels. After a few moments, the brightness and heat become unbearable, and I finally throw myself to the floor, crawling towards my wolf.
Dogs? Oh.
Did we lose Dogs?
Sorry, Amicus, help!
But the light continues to grow, and soon everything is lit up in the blinding light. The heat so intense that the metal melts underneath my hands and knees. I'm on fire. I am fire. I feel lines of molten lead coursing through. Course through from the base of my neck, down my spine, branching out into my limbs, even my toes and fingers. I can only float in the inferno, dumbly wondering why I still feel if I'm dead, wondering if this is death as the ship and the wolf and I become part of the star. Once again, time is lost, and I only exist as fire. I stare up at the sky, the air suddenly cool as I try to comprehend the sudden change from the harsh, all-encompassing starlight to the gentle, cold moonlight. Still, fire continues to lance through my head, neck, spine, and limbs in agonizing lines, my body mapped out as a tortured stick figure. It hurts more than anything I've ever experienced, but it's fading after what happened in the star, so I try to relax in the sand. After a few minutes, I realize that I can hear the waves, and I feel something dragging me towards the water. I'm a little scared of getting up, of any movement at all, terrified that it might trigger the pain anew, but it doesn't. It almost feels like I'm not moving at all. I glide towards the water, watching the surface reflect the bright planet and moon in hypnotic ripples, entering the lake and feeling the cold gentle water wash over my skin is the best feeling I've ever felt. It envelops me slowly, moving up my legs, torso, and finally my head. And just like that, the pain and fire is chased away, subdued to a dull, tingling throb. I gasp in relief, somehow able to breathe under the water. I drift through the dark water, watching the globes of light dance and sway above me before I finally resurface. It's only then that I remember Amicus. Fear grips me. He was still on the ship. I look up to see the light glittering from the palace, and I begin to swim toward it, somehow moving much faster than I should be able to. Instead of swimming to the beach, though, I end up moving towards the balcony, straight to Amicus's room. As I get closer, I realize that someone is on the balcony. It's Amicus, and my heart fills with relief. He's got his back to the railing, leaning against it casually. Even though I can only see him from behind, I realize that it's not the Amicus I know. Instead, he's in full robes, and he's a lot more skinny than I remember. I slow down, wondering why he's not looking at me with all the splashing noises I'm making. Just as I'm about to call out to him, though, I see brown arms wrap around him, smooth over his arms and back, and that's when Amicus turns to the side. I see now that those arms belong to another wolf, smaller and brown-furred, one I've never seen before. Amicus is doing the same to him, paws moving around his body in a way that's awkward and hesitant, a pair of young lovers making out for the first time. I watch, subtly feeling embarrassed. I'm back in Amicus's room, and that same teenage wolf is now on the sofa, bent over, hiding his face behind his paws. I've never seen Amicus really cry, but I can tell that's what he's doing right now. I feel the same sense of complete, utter shame, the feeling that you've let someone down. It consumes me. I reach out towards the young wolf, wanting to comfort him, wondering if he'll even know who I am. Suddenly, I'm sucked back into the cosmos. There is no parent this time. Instead, I float peacefully through the vacuum, staring down at what I assume is Adastra. Even though there isn't anyone here with me, I sense beings all around me. I also get a sense of approval, like their work is done.
Finish Mira's work, young human.
Just like that, I start to drift back down towards the moon, descending faster and faster until everything becomes a blur. This time, coming to feels real, and I immediately know I'm not in a dream. I smell lavender. Amicus? My eyes feel like they're glued shut, and I have to rub at them to get them to fully open. The first thing I see is the sky, the planet, Anchorus, and the moon, Torque, both of them glowing brightly. I stare at the two floating orbs for a while, waiting for things to fall into place as to why I'm out here. I'm lying on something hard, like concrete, and I feel a soft but weighty thing on my chest. My arms are curled around it, and I lift it slowly to have a look, even though it feels like a 50-pound dumbbell. Flowers. Flowers with a fair bit of lavender mixed in. Slowly, I turn my head again, and I get the feeling of heavy weights attached to my body. I somehow manage it and immediately see that I'm in the amphitheater. At the same time, I see more flowers and realize that they're arranged all around me in a circle. Moving my head around also makes me realize that there is something scratchy and prickly on my head. Still struggling with my heavy hand, I reach up and grab at it. I lift it from my head and hold it up, in front of my face, my eyes taking a moment to focus to find that it's a wreath, pink flowers woven into the twigs. I finally drop my arm to the side, getting too tired to hold it up, and I watch it lazily roll a few feet away. The moment sends a wave of tingling through my body, but it fades quickly. The heavy weakness is also starting to fade, and I'm more worried about how I got out here and why I'm covered in flowers. From what I can tell, I'm in the gardens, though a part I hadn't seen before. I close my eyes, trying to remember how I got here. Amicus, the trial of rhetoric, the restaurant, being sick. Again, I lift my arm, though it's easier this time, and I look at the skin. It's covered in crusty, yellowish scabs, though they don't hurt. I don't know why, but I get the feeling that the skin underneath is completely healed. I try to think again. I do remember throwing up on Cassius. But after that terrible dreams. Just terrible dreams. Did they heal me somehow? Is this flower thing part of that? I'm feeling some of my strength return, so I force myself into a sitting position, joints popping and muscles stiff. Still, with every movement, things get easier. I do get lightheaded though, and I have to sit there for a moment, looking around again, wondering where Amicus is. He'd sounded so desperate and sad the last I heard him. I need to show him that I'm okay now. At least I think I am. I slowly push myself up, listening to the gunshot crack of my knees as if I hadn't used them for days. I stand uneasy in the center of the square, looking around at the circle of flowers. I'm startled when I turn and see a wolf behind me. But it's just a sculpture. A male wolf decked out in armor, both his paws rise to the sky. He's got a bunch of flowers wreathed around his wrists and his head too. I wait a few moments, listening for anyone that might be nearby. All I hear are the insects around me. Water, really quick. All I hear are the insects around me, so I listen to move towards the path, and towards the path that I know leads to the palace. Though I'm pretty sure I'm not dreaming now, this eerie scenario has me questioning that. This whole situation is unreal. All of the things that I remember happening last feel so distant, despite all of my time on Adastra trying to be covert. I find myself longing to find someone, anyone really. I just need to know what happened. And pretty soon, I find someone. His back is to me, souped over, fur almost ghostly in glow of the garden lights. The cat busies himself with the flowers, a pair of metal clippers in his paw. As I get closer, I hear him humming just above the noise of the busy snipping. I'm just opening my mouth when his ears perk up.
So I'd like to open this up. So if there is a Felinian twink in VC right now, would anybody like to read Alexios' lines?
You did not just say that. Oh my goodness.
You're not wrong. There's probably someone in here.
Hey,
Step forward.
I just wanted to open it up because I normally read these, but
I can read it if that's possible.
Who does
Cam?
meow?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, please.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, sick. Cass, you know I don't like these games.
Alex turns to face me, a knowing smile on his lips. That quickly disappears the second he sees me, though, replaced by a look of complete shock. Whatever he's trying to say doesn't seem to want to come out, and instead he just stands there, gaping at me.
Hey.
I can barely talk, my voice raspy like sandpaper on wood. I take a step forward, and that's when Alex finally reacts, jumping almost a foot into the air in a backwards motion, putting space between us as he yelps.
What? What? How?
He stutters and stumbles over his words. I've seen Alex flustered before, but never like this. There's real fear in his eyes as he stumbles again against some bushes. I wonder if he's just going to take off running, but instead he just stands there, quivering as he holds the clippers up in front of his chest, as if contemplating using them as a weapon. I raise my hand reassuringly.
Hey, Alex, it's me.
I cough a few times, trying to clear my throat. I see Alex's ears twitch at the sound as he slowly lowers the clippers, though he moves to the side away from the bush, giving himself a clear path to the palace.
Marco? But how?
He's staring at me like he's seeing what he's seeing is impossible.
No, what?
I'm regaining my voice slowly but surely.
What's happening?
Alex finally seems to get hold of himself, fur slowly laying flat again as he eyes me, looking almost suspicious.
I could ask you the same thing.
And this catches me off guard.
Why?
Well,
Alex looks around before focusing on me again, tilting his head as if looking at me from a different angle.
you were dead.
Dead?
Well, not completely, but you were in a coma that we were told you would not wake up from.
Oh.
I look down at myself, as if to confirm that I'm indeed alive and well. Aside from the patchy scabs all over my arms and legs, I feel okay, aside from the grogginess.
I thought the doctor healed me.
Alex's ears perk.
Doctor?
I mean, I think there was a doctor. I heard him when I was brought back here.
All right, need one quick second.
Oh.
Moment.
It's been more than 1 second. I am shocked and appalled.
I am a little bit mad.
I heard Portuguese.
Now.
I'm crying. I'm shaking.
It is in fact Portuguese, Shaw.
Very
Oh my god.
It's okay, Jackson.
Super verdade.
What was that?
Verdade.
It's been 100 or something, 700 years since a
It's
war.
been 84 years.
Quem falou português?
What was that?
There's like Portugal, cara.
Not this.
Exatamente, boy.
I cannot. No.
I was watching that app as they were sitting reading.
Isto é momento de conexão. Oh, meu
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
Slay though.
Anyway,
Slay.
I needed a second to let my
Okay, back to it.
Yeah, back to it.
Okay,
Back to.
Oh, do I read from top of the line?
Yeah, can you reread the line?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think there was a doctor. I heard him when I was brought back here.
Alexis's eyes narrow.
Amicus told us you were in a vegetative before you arrived. How did you hear him?
I don't know. I might have dreamed it. I was really out of it.
If you were still conscious when he arrived, he should have been able to halt the damage caused by the virus. Who was the doctor?
With every passing second, I regain more and more of my wits, and Alexis's demeanor is confusing me. He thought I was dead, and instead of being happy, I feel like he's interrogating me. That's also when I realize something else.
Wait, you all think I'm dead?
Well, not me anymore, obviously. This is all very strange. How did you survive exactly?
Now the cat is staring at me. Now the cat is starting to annoy me, and I look past him towards the palace, the situation finally dawning on me.
Where's Amicus?
The cat is quiet for a moment, as if contemplating something, then quirks his head.
I'm not sure. He's been here and there, though I haven't seen him for at least a day.
I walk past the cat, towards the palace, realizing what sort of state the wolf might be in.
Where are you going? I'm very happy to see that you are well. This is all just very sudden and unexpected.
I ignore Alex, not really in the mood to figure out why he's acting the way he is. He's making me feel like I'm still dreaming. So I walk quickly, and I realize that he doesn't follow me, and I'm relieved that he doesn't follow me. The wave of cool air that hits me as I enter the palace is welcoming feeling, and I find myself grateful to be back. Despite having apparently been here the whole time, it really feels like I've been away for weeks. I pick up the pace and head towards Amicus's room, practically jogging. I have to let him know that I'm okay. The short distance to his room seems to take longer than it ever had before, and I'm glad that I didn't run into anyone else on the way there. That interaction with Alex was weird, and I don't need a repeat of that right now. I finally make it to the door, and I immediately hear muffled chatter behind it. I don't hesitate, though, and I press my hand to the panel. The door slides open, and instead of a usual blast of even colder air I would often get from Amicus's room, it's stuffy, warm, and the smell is a bit musty. The lights are dim, and my heart sinks when I see the bed empty. I linger in the doorway, though, something feeling off. The droning chatter of calm, giving what sounds like a monologue on the history of some past emperor. I see wine bottles too, mostly bunched together on top of the bedside table, but there's also a few lying here and there on the floor.
Amicus?
I call out, starting to become afraid of what I might find. I take a few tentative steps into the room. Then I hear a loud snore, and instantly the worry gripping my chest starts to release. I'd recognize that sound anywhere. I hurry over to the side of the bed where I find my wolf splayed out on the floor, a wine bottle next to his head, only in his underwear. He's clearly asleep, or passed out, muzzle hanging wide open as another thunderous snore shakes the floor.
Am I gonna have to play this snoring sound that somebody just dropped in VC?
Please.
Oh my god.
Oh my
We
god.
need the authenticity.
So true.
No.
What have I
What have
done?
you done?
I don't even know
Or
if that's gonna
Shaw can
show
do
up
his
in
best snore
stream.
too.
All I know is that all of the Discord audio is being routed into my OBS. So hey, hopefully it gets in there.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's the sound we want.
Amicus!
I crouch down next to him, resting a hand on his chest, trying to shake him awake. His only response is a few broken snorts before drooling out the side of his muzzle. Ew. I switch to patting his face, then grabbing his muzzle and shaking it around, noticing how crusty the fur is, something I've never felt on Amicus before.
Amicus?
I crouch down next to him. Oh, that's okay. I consider slapping him like I see people do in the movies. Then I see the bottle next to his head and decide to go for another approach. I snatch it up and head to the bathroom. I hold the bottle under the faucet for a good few seconds, letting it fill up with soapy water to the halfway point before I hurry back into the room. Meanwhile, calm continues Meanwhile, Calm doesn't seem to notice me, droning on about this particular emperor who's known for having a fondness for the orchids. I crouch down next to Amicus again, hesitating for a second as I wonder if maybe I should call Kato. Probably not Kato. Neferu, maybe? Just in case Amicus is actually in trouble. I don't know how much of a wolf can drink before it could kill them, but the sheer amount of bottles lying around the room worries me. I decide to just go ahead with my plan, and upend the bottle over Amicus's face. It pours directly onto his nose, and he immediately chokes, turning his head this way and that to avoid the stream of bubbly water. I have a moment to wonder if drowning him is the best approach before he suddenly sits up, paws to his face.
Ugh.
The wolf covers his eyes, and it's only then that I realize how irritating the soap might be for him.
Shit. Sorry. Should I get some water from the shower so you can rinse your eyes out?
Amicus freezes, still covering his face, then slowly lowers his paws to reveal his blurry, bloodshot eyes. He stares at me in a way that he never has before. It's kind of surprising, like Alex had been, but rather than fear, Amicus simply looks empty, numb.
Are you okay?
I reach out, but Amicus turns his head away.
Away with you, ghost. Enough of your torment.
He keeps his head turned away, eyes closed.
Ghost? Amicus, it's me.
I reach out and grab his face, and that seems to shock him as he jumps and turns to look at me right in the eye. I can tell that he's drunk, very drunk, but there's an extra distant look in his eyes that I don't like.
Amicus, what are you on? Did you take something?
I hold his big head steady, feeling the fullness of his cheeks in my hands, looking into his familiar eyes, no matter how glazy and unfocused they are. Then I find myself throwing my arms around his neck, leaning into his body, the reality of the situation crashing down to me at once. Amicus gasps into my ear, as if my touch suddenly makes him realize that I am real, that I'm here. Clumsily, he starts to stand up, pulling me up with him. It's difficult because I don't let go, almost getting lifted up my feet before I settle on letting go for just a moment to hug him lower around his body, pressing my head to his chest, hearing his heart hammering inside. Finally, he's able to get a grip on me and pushes me away, despite my intention to cling to him forever. He holds me at arm's length, staring at me. I clutch his paws on my shoulder, staring up at him, feeling my eyes start to water.
Yes.
What's up? It's your boy Skinny Penis.
Nick, we're doing a reading.
Is this possible? No, please, I can't handle another hallucination.
1 second.
Do we need to take a quick break?
I'm good. Sorry, I just had to refill my water and I didn't want you all to hear that.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Speaking of Thine, I was saying I think we should go another hour personally, but that's just me.
Ooh, I do not have another hour.
Yeah, so if we did another
So
hour, we
fun.
would need somebody else to do the narrator role.
I'd be happy to narrate.
Which I think Jackson is actually the
I can do it, please.
I'd love to hear Jackson narrate.
Who's the other person that wants to do it?
It's me, Guillaume.
Oh, okay. Well, we definitely could go another hour. It just depends on what the rest of the cast thinks. I think it would be fair to just do like a majority vote and be like, hey, is it okay if we do this? But I know that Leslie won't be able to.
I can More 30 minutes. An
30
hour is too
minutes
much.
more? Yeah, hour is too much.
I could compromise on 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go.
Yeah.
I can continue like speaking for a while. Like I'm pretty sure like 3 hours or more.
I wish. But no, I'm fine with 30 minutes.
I don't
30
mind
minutes
either.
But the reason I was asking if we needed another break was because obviously we need moments to compose ourselves so that we can continue reading. But you know, if Nox, you want to just like read through the lines, please.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
His expression keeps morphing from hope and awe to devastation. I feel his paws grip onto my shoulders tightly, almost painfully, as if making sure I'm real.
It's me. I woke up in the garden for some reason. I'm okay.
I want to hug him. I want to hug him again, but he keeps holding me away, looking me up and down, pushing my hair back and feeling my crusty skin.
But how?
I don't know. Just remember having crazy dreams and I was in the garden.
As I'm talking, I think Amicus finally believes it's me, and I notice his body is starting to sway in a worrying manner.
Amicus?
I reach out to steady him, but as I do, his eyes roll back and I realize that there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to stop. They're going to be able to keep a wolf over twice my weight from toppling over. I try anyway, wrapping my arms around him as Amicus falls backwards, his bulk pulling me down with him before he falls back first into the bedside table, sending bottles flying while his upper back and head smashes into the wall. My fall is absorbed by his much softer front, but the sound is loud, the room shaking, and probably waking up the entire palace. Waking the wolf up the second time is a lot easier, probably because he'd fainted rather than passed out from too much wine. We were at least able to move onto the bed where Amicus sits cross-legged, pulling me into his lap and just holding me there, his paws moving around my body, still trying to make sure I'm real. For a moment, he doesn't talk, the wolf just pressing his nose to my hair, breathing in deeply. I feel a little self-conscious, knowing I must not smell very good right now, but that doesn't seem to bother Amicus as he goes on pressing his nose to my head and neck, taking in my scent. Finally he does speak, but it's one word.
How?
I turn my head towards the wolf, resting my cheek against his neck.
I don't know. I don't really even know what happened to me.
You got sick, so sick. You were having convulsions, brains, and nerve damage. It was terrible.
Amicus's arms tighten around me, his voice, normally deep and strong, now sounding weak and broken. This statement worries me though, and I have to wonder if really am better. There seems to be patches missing from my memory, and I do feel different, like I'm not fully myself, but I don't really want to think about it right now.
I think I remember a little bit of that.
I lift my arms up, showing Amicus the shiny, crusty scabs on my arm.
It was aviapox. I can't believe I didn't consider the possibility of disease and illness for you. I'm just so used to the idea of any new arrival on Adastra going through that process. Obviously, we did it differently.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not even sure I'd have you do it. I don't know if you react differently to those vaccinations. Each species has their own customized cocktail. And aviapox isn't included in the vaccination set. It's such a mild virus. We've never seen anyone react the way you did, even other primates.
I think back at how quickly I became sick, how quickly I almost died. I noticed Amicus look down at me again, and I looked back up at him.
What?
Amicus shakes his head.
I'm just still trying to make sure you're here, that you're real. I'm afraid I'd let go. If I even look away, you disappear.
His arms tighten around me again, squeezing a huff of breath out of me.
Here, I promise.
Well, I had a lot of hallucinations. Too many stress tablets, I think.
Stress tablets?
Yes, quite a few of them, in fact.
With wine?
Oh, yes.
Amicus!
I don't really know what these stress tablets are, but I imagine mixing space Xanax with alcohol is a horrible idea. Amicus doesn't seem bothered by my reprimand, though, instead just snuggling closer to me, his crusted face fur prickling against my skin.
I love you, Marco.
I get that familiar swooping feeling in my chest, like a roller coaster. I clutch into his arms.
I love you too.
Amicus sighs and sets his chin on my head.
I thought I'd missed the opportunity to say it. I still can't believe you're real.
Well, I am. I promise.
But I still don't understand how. This shouldn't be possible. You were declared to be in permanent coma, no brain activity. I had set you out in the gardens and only hope for a miracle.
Miracle?
Amicus lets out a shaky sigh, running his fingers through my hair.
When a sapient falls into such a state, we simply let them fade away in a peaceful setting, or possibly recover if the parents allow it. I sat out there for a while, but I couldn't bear to see you waste away, so I come back to my room to drink and prepare for the emperorship.
I imagine Amicus laying those flowers around me, and I feel my heart break a little.
Did the parents come to you? Is that why you're here? I had hoped that they would.
I shrug.
I really can't remember much.
It does not matter. My prayers were answered. Praise the gods.
Amicus starts to smother me again with his hugging. Little bits of imagery from my dream is starting to come back to me. Something that happened in space, someone talking to me.
And judging by the only human I know, our people are full of surprises. But you can figure it out later. I just want to hold you right now.
Okay.
Marco,
Yeah?
please try to avoid mentioning that I lost consciousness when I saw you.
Of course.
We sit there for a while longer while Amicus just sort of cuddles with me. After about an hour, we finally decide to move to the shower, considering the state that we're both in.
All right. This is a good place to take a quick, I think we should do a 5-minute break this time.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Leslie, you're going to want me to take over soon here?
Yeah, when they get back to the room.
Gotcha. Also, Haps, for real, I thought you were drawing like Amicus with a Yu-Gi-Oh card there for a hot minute.
No, it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I know. When it was blank, I was like, is it going to be like a Yu-Gi-Oh card time to duel type shit?
Just a no you.
It's a no you.
No you. My cat is trying to get inside my blanket. No.
I mean, Amicus would be the Joey of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, let's be real.
Absolutely. 100%.
Who witching? I love that. Yeah.
Listen to this. We got some shower ASMR going on too.
I don't know what else to give to this little guy.
Another tooth. 5 more teeth. Let's do it.
Oh my god.
He does have a very funny expression. I like it. It's a very head empty expression.
Needs a name though. Maybe I'm gonna give some a little bit of whites here. Yeah, somebody's having a shower.
Long shower between two star-crossed lovers. It should have been me.
2 gay boys.
2 gay boys. Exactly, Nox. It should have been me, not him.
No feet apart because they're both gay.
Oh, Brownie. No, not again. I can't do it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Haps, I wanted to ask
Hey.
you, could you bug Keith to come in here?
Me?
Yeah,
Why?
because he keeps mentioning in his videos that he's met you, that he's like friends with you and stuff like that. And I'm like, if there is one person that could get Keith into VC while we're doing
Oh,
this.
let me try. Let me see.
I can't believe you're going to take advantage of Haps like this.
Let me see.
Because I mean, like, he's
Fine.
already in the thread, so it's like, why, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, tag him?
Dine's a cutthroat streamer. She wants the cred.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna
What
put
a
in,
director!
I'm gonna put in no mic too. This is exactly how you're supposed to do it. Okay, there's no other way to do it. It's this.
Show business.
Just go in there and just be like, "Hey, bitch."
Okay.
Hey, bitch!
Okay, just sent it.
Yay.
No,
Maybe it'll happen.
no promises.
Yeah, no. Obviously.
I can respect the boldness there.
Hey,
Hold on, I did tell Haps to mute his mic.
genuinely,
Sorry about that, Haps.
having the artist of my
Why?
favorite visual novel, and then
Oh, no.
having the streamer that got me into that visual novel.
Oh no, gonna get that pussy wet.
Yeah.
Not this.
The
You
panties
can't
are
just
off.
say that.
You can't just say that. What's wrong with you?
No,
Yeah.
say it.
This is TJ's Christian Minecraft Discord. You can't say that stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Say it.
Well, what
say
you
it.
gonna do about it, Ben?
If I'm going to be wet for anybody, it's going to be wet for the Lord.
Bless. God bless.
And that's getting wet from
I
being
am a woman
baptized,
of
baby.
God.
We respect an upstanding Christian woman.
I have so many emotions right now.
What's going on?
Hey. Nothing. I'm
only gonna get worse
crying,
as
I'm
the story
sick, and then I'm
progresses.
laughing, and then we have a sex scene in front of us. How should I feel? Like,
I'm gonna. I need you all to start rolling some d20s for me. I need the wisdom saves.
no, not the wisdom.
I have some right here.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm gonna have to actually close chat when
what's
I
your
read it.
modifier?
So bad news. I rolled a nat 1. What do
Shit.
I do?
Alright, we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'm ready to start.
Me too.
Oh, wait, Chris. Are we doing the poll?
The poll for
Oh, this isn't a top or bottom.
No,
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
not
not
a
the
Oh.
the top or bottom scene
I
is
forgot.
probably gonna happen.
This is the frauding
It's way
one.
later. Yeah.
I forgot then.
This is just the scene
the
where Amicus
censored
pulls a
frauding
hamstring.
thing.
The censored frauding one, yes. Tastefully censored.
Yes. But yeah, the
Wait a second.
It's just entered with a picture of Alexios' condescending face. Like, no.
listen,
No
actually,
party for you.
oh, you know what I could do though? I could put PNGs on the stream window on OBS. So if people want to drop like little images and chat, I can put that over the censor bar, no problem. That's gonna be easy squeezy. Like I could easily put photos on the OBS window.
Keith
I got a perfect one
texted
for
me
you.
back.
I'm putting one in chat.
He texted me back. It simply said, "Uh-oh, lol."
Oh, he's here!
Welcome to the stream.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, it's here.
Chris, you got your wish.
Yay!
Yay!
I did it. I called in the favor.
Hey, Keith. Welcome to tomfoolery.
You're just in time for the frauding scene, Keith.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what is happening?
It's the Adastra reading nights, boy.
Yep.
Oh.
Fully casted, all voiced.
Yeah, we got I don't know why I said we almost got Marilyn Monroe to come in here and do that. I don't know why that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Look what you did, Keith.
To accommodate us.
What did I do?
Well, first of all, you introduced me to the visual novel about 10 months ago, and then this happened, so...
We made a bunch of homosexuals here.
Wait, are we? I wasn't made aware of this.
I have in fact suggested like Keith's video to so many of my friends in real life, and I think I am successfully turning them into furries. And I'm very proud of it.
Let's go. That's a W. That's a W.
You are doing the Lord's work.
True love
Alright,
is for everyone and your friend.
I think we're ready to start again there,
Yes,
Chris.
we are definitely ready to start.
Alright, Leslie, let me know when you want me to key in.
Yeah, we'll switch over when they leave the bathroom.
Bingo.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, I need to mute myself.
We shower together, taking turns scrubbing each other. The hot water really brings life back into my limbs. Those whirring tingles had faded to the point where I'm barely noticing them now. Amicus gently rubs at my crusted skin, and we're both surprised to see it comes away, exposing new, unblemished skin underneath.
Just a second. Sorry. Incredible. I never knew humans heal at such a rate.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really the case, and my mind continues to wander back to those vague, hard-to-remember dreams I was having. Meanwhile, Amicus leans back against the wall as I rub soap onto his front, smiling gently as I lather up his chest. I can tell that he's fairly drunk, and that doesn't stop his cock from becoming fully erect between us, which I just pretend not to notice. His eyes widen as if he suddenly realizes something.
Wait, did anyone else notice you?
I pause, both my hands cupping his sizable pecs.
Yeah, actually, Alex was in the garden and I talked to him.
Just Alex?
Yeah.
Amicus seems to relax a bit.
What did he say?
Just seemed really surprised.
Unsurprising.
But he was acting a little weird.
Amicus shrugs.
He keeps things to himself for the most part. I'd be worried if you ran into Cato or Cassius especially. I need to think of a way to explain this to them. The Simeon guides is becoming harder to keep up.
I'm about to mention more about Alexis's demeanor, but that's when Amicus just starts hugging me again, his dick hot and firm, crushed between us, as he does. I don't care though, and Amicus doesn't seem to either.
I don't understand any of this right now, but as long as it's real, I don't care.
It feels so good like this. His wet fur slicked down tightly to his body. Sorry, I'm like struggling to read this. Tightly to his thick body, which presses against me perfectly. Amicus finally shuts off the water, and we're blasted with hot air. I'm dried in less than a minute, and I stumble out to try and fix my poofy hair in the mirror while Amicus stands in the shower stall for a little while longer. After another few minutes, I watch him step out and come up behind me to nuzzle my ear, embracing me once again. He really can't keep his paws off me, but I completely understand why. And Jackson.
He starts nudging me out into the bedroom before turning me around to face him, lowering his face to mine, and I finally realize where this is going. It feels so sudden, especially after everything that's happened. I think we could use more time to adjust, but I kiss back anyway.
Wait, Jackson. Beowulf, would you like to try? You said you did want to try.
Oh, he messaged me saying he was
okay.
unavailable too.
Okay. Good.
We've kissed a few times. Oh, did I say that? Okay, I'll start there. We've kissed a few times before, but only with our lips. Now, his tongue presses against my mouth, and I only hesitate for a moment before letting it in, his thinner, longer tongue caressing mine with a surprising, nimble strength. I thought it would be kind of hard to make out with the way his muzzle is shaped, but Amicus makes it happen, his lips clamping around my mouth as he kisses deeper. I'm amazed at how bold he's being, and I wonder if maybe it's because he's still pretty inebriated. He cradles my head gently, walking me backward slowly, his cock poking against my groin and thighs occasionally until I come against the bed. Gently, he lowers me down to rest on my back, both paws coming to press on either side of my shoulders, while he looms over me, grinning before he pauses.
Is this okay?
I think.
I mean, are you okay? We can wait until tomorrow when you're less drunk.
He grins again.
I've been wanting to do this for so long, to show you how much I love you.
Amicus leans down, nuzzling my neck.
I thought that I missed that chance. I can't tell you how dark these past 3 days have been for me. I ran out of tears yesterday.
Amicus looks away for a moment.
I'm not going to miss that chance now.
I reach up and hold his head steady again before I lean up to kiss him. This may be alcohol-fueled, it may be sudden, but after everything that's happened, after what Amicus has been through, I want us to be able to do this before anything else happens. He huffs loudly through his nose, the burst of hot air tickling my face as he falls to the bed, rolling to the side to pull me up on top of him. His massive, soft body cushions me like it always does, rising and falling with his quickening breaths, his kissing becoming more and more aggressive as he lets out little growls and snarls. All the reservation I had about having sex with an alien will fall away at the moment. After everything that's happened, and especially after almost dying, I just don't care anymore. We grind against each other, both of us hard now as we just explore each other's bodies, his giant paws sliding up and down my sides while I do the same to him. Eventually, I sit up, straddling his waist, looking down at him, just sort of taking him in. Again, he has that silly grin on his face, his paws on my thighs, kneading at the skin and muscle.
You're beautiful.
That makes me laugh.
Beautiful. Well, you're adorable.
Amicus raises an eyebrow.
I'm not sure that's the correct descriptor for the next emperor of Adastra.
I lean forward and aggressively rub at his belly, his weak spot, immediately neutralizing his snark as his paws flop back above his head, eyes almost rolling with pleasure before he squeezes them shut. He writhes and arches around my hands, leaning into the rub as I slide my hands up to his chest, then all the way down to his lower stomach. When that happens, I feel his dick jump against my rear, making me realize how hard I'm getting him. I'm getting the same way as I make the strong, thick body below me undulate with pleasure. His head rolls from side to side, tongue flopping back and forth, and when I giggle at him, that seems to finally bring him out of his trance. He growls and grips my arms.
That is cheating.
With that, he rolls me over, easily reversing our positions as he mounts me, pinning my hands above my head with one paw. My hands above my head, sorry. With his other, he tries to rub at my stomach, which makes me laugh and squirm until he finally lets off.
That doesn't work on primates.
Seemed like it worked well to me.
He lets go of my hands and leans down to nuzzle at my face, his cold nose exploring my chin, cheeks, and forehead. He then starts to adjust his positioning before he suddenly stops looking up at me. His ears lower, and I can tell that he's embarrassed.
What?
Do you humans, for males, do you go through the rear?
Oh.
I think about that. That would be the expected route, but looking at Amicus's length... The wolf follows my gaze and looks even more embarrassed.
You don't have to. I don't want to hurt you, of course.
I prop myself up on my elbows, looking between the two of us.
Yeah, maybe some other time. You're kind of thick.
Amicus smirks.
Thank you.
He starts adjusting himself again, squatting as he sort of waddles up so that our dicks are parallel to each other.
Maybe this?
He slowly lowers himself until we make contact. The feeling and sight of it's electric, the hot flesh of his cock pressing against mine firmly. Out of sight, I feel his furry balls come to rest gently on top of mine, the soft forms molding together easily. Amicus pauses there, smiling down at me gently as he rests both paws to either side of my head.
You'll have to excuse my ignorance. I'm not sure how humans might copulate.
He wiggles his hips, causing his length to slide from side to side on top of mine, and I have to stifle a gasp.
I think it's about the same from what I saw.
Amicus frowns for a moment as he realizes what exactly it is I'm referencing, but quickly recovers as he leans down to kiss me once again. Once he's finished, I smile back up at him.
But yeah, this is fine.
I rest my hands on his knees, noticing how he's balancing most of his considerable weight in a squat.
Are you comfortable though? That looks like a workout.
Data works a lot harder than these, Miracle.
Amicus frowns again as he realizes how that could be interpreted.
I mean, he makes me do a lot of squatting exercises. I'll just consider this extra practice.
I reach out and feel up the wolf's chest and belly while he speaks, again marveling at how powerful it all is. Amicus chuckles and arches out a bit to give me a better feel, taking deep breaths and puffing out his chest. He shudders as I rub at his nipples, the nubs of flesh hardening instantly.
So now that you're comfortable...
Tentatively, Amicus reaches down with his left paw and carefully lifts my length from my stomach to press against his. This time, I let out a little gasp, being squeezed together like this, sending a jolt of pleasure up from my dick, through my body, and into my brain. Immediately, my skin breaks out into goosebumps as I shiver to Amicus's touch, his gentle but all-enveloping paw feeling so good right now. He starts off slowly, at first, beginning to jerk us off both in small, quick motions. I can tell that he's being overly careful with me, so I jerk my hips up against him, encouraging more. He seems to get the hint, and he picks up speed, giving the two of us deeper, faster strokes that make me grip at the bedsheets on either side of me, staring at the ceiling as I let out soft pants and groans. Amicus gets more and more into it, already leaking all over my own dick as he pumps his paw, bicep bulging with the effort. I've been jerked off by others before, but Amicus's paw really is something else. Of course, it's big, but the soft, squishy pads on his palms and fingers add to the pleasure, giving me a texture I've never felt before. The wolf starts to thrust his powerful hips into the stroking, making the bed squeak and shake. Again, his strength is evident in how he practically moves my entire body with each thrust, the idea that he's holding back turning me on even more. I feel his heavy sack bouncing on top of mine. My knees jerk up with each thrust, and each time they do, I feel his large rear end slam up against them, its furry form tight and clenched.
I'm getting close.
He pants out over my head, a drop of drool dripping down onto my cheek. I start to thrust up against him in earnest, wanting to match his climax. At this point, we're almost bouncing on the bed with how hard the wolf is humping against me, forgetting his strength in the moment. I don't mind, though, not really caring how sore I'm going to be tomorrow as the pleasure overtakes me. It hits me all at once, and I reach up to put a hand against his face, letting him know, and he takes that as a signal to let go as well. I feel it in his entire body, the wolf tensing up, muscles tightening, standing out through the fur on his thighs, stomach, and chest. I see his face then as he balances on this edge of climax, eyes wide and looking toward the ceiling, mouth hanging open, a look of pure awe. I feel it in his cock too, and at the same time we're both pushed over the edge. I groan, something I don't usually do, but the build-up, the situation, the feeling is all too much. It's drowned out by the sound that Amicus makes, though. He practically sags over me, letting out a bassy, rumbling moan of ecstasy. Hearing that masculine, deep voice making a sound of such pleasure spurs on another spasm from my cock. I think the same happens to Amicus because he suddenly hunches forward again, muzzle right next to my ear as he groans out again, his hot rush of breath on the side of my face making me shudder. The big wolf continues to thrust against me, in time with the spurts from his cock, the look on his face now one of goofy pleasure, his long tongue drooping out, dripping onto my chest. His climax goes on for several seconds longer than mine, and I watch as he spurts over my stomach over and over until he finally collapses down against me, his fur damp with sweat. I wrap my arms around him as he heaves for breath, feeling his body expand and contract against mine. He nuzzles against my head, his stomach flattening against mine, against the mess we've made. Adders, you might want to mute your mic. We're going to have to take another shower.
Oh, Adders, you're echoing? I'll just mute him for me then. You can keep reading now.
We're going to have to take another shower.
Should I resume now?
If you'd like, yeah.
Okay. I might be a little bit hoarse because I've been laughing the whole
Were you really laughing the whole time?
Yeah. Man, you were nervous for a solid 15 minutes.
I did it without any hiccups. Let's go.
That was
proud of you.
incredible.
Yeah, you did great.
Poggers in chat.
Poggers
boy.
in chat. Drop the poggers.
That wisdom saving throw must have been a nat 20.
Nat 1. More like a nat 20.
Even though I'm a bit out of breath, I'm kind of amused at how Amicus is gasping, sounding like he ran a marathon. He really put everything into that.
You.
I hold his head against mine, turning to kiss him on the cheek.
Me?
You are incredible.
Thanks. You're really something too.
A good something?
A very good something.
We lay there quietly for a moment, Amicus propping himself a bit on his knees and elbows so his entire weight doesn't rest atop me.
How are your legs?
Burning. Probably the most intense exercise my tights have ever been through, but it was worth it.
Again, We lay there quietly as Amicus just sort of strokes my hair.
I'm still terrified that this is a dream.
I hug him more tightly to my body, almost forcing him to fall on top of me.
I'm here, and I'll be here in the morning when you wake up.
You'd better, or otherwise I'll never forgive you.
His speech slurs a bit as he whispers into my ear. I look at him.
Oh, exactly how drunk are you?
The wolf shrugs, slowly rolling off of me, cold air hitting the fluids on my stomach.
I'm fairly sober now. Shall you wash up?
He reaches out a paw and I take it, slightly surprised as he pulls me up to carry me in his arms like I'm his new bride. We go to the shower and wash up again, even more slowly than we did the first time. When we come back to the bed, Amicus continues to dote over me, hardly ever letting me go at any point. I can tell that he's legitimately worried that this isn't real, and I feel the same way. After everything that's happened, this doesn't seem possible. Eventually, I lie on the bed next to him, and he spoons me tightly against his body. It's extremely warm, but with no blankets, and the cold air drifting down on top of us, it's perfect. Pretty soon, I'm drifting off to sleep, listening to the wolf soft snores in my ear. Thankfully, I don't dream.
I think that here is a good place
This
to
is
stop.
a perfect place to stop.
This is definitely a perfect.
Before
place to
everything
stop.
goes wrong.
Hell yeah.
So wrong.
Oh
Terribly
my
wrong.
God.
Everyone unmute. Say poggers. Woo!
Poggers. Stuff is gonna get a little goofy. Everyone did such a good job. Just a little silly.
Oh.
This is
So
completely wild. How?
I am consistently impressed by everyone's performance. You all are marvelous.
So are you, Nico.
So are you.
So is everyone.
Yes.
So is everyone. Like,
I really got into it there, man. I was feeling it.
of course. Wow. You didn't laugh a single time. You
I
almost.
know. I'm
but, like,
surprised.
Wow.
I laughed once. When I
Fire
heard the
was
fucking
really-
Kato comment.
I don't know if I can take that scene seriously anymore.
No.
I honestly feel the
It's
exact
absurd.
same, dude. Like, I couldn't stop laughing the first time that I read, like, the scene. I was crying, then the scene came up and I just laughed, and then I just cried again. So
Yeah, there's like a lot of feelings, you know? It's like, oh, roller coaster.
it is, it really is.
Was that Amicus's first time?
Maybe.
No.
No,
We saw
I mean,
his first.
saw.
Oh, well,
it
yeah,
is
that-
ambiguous.
We saw him
Neferu.
fucking Neferu a few
Yeah,
seasons
Oh,
ago.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot. I blocked that from my memory.
It is ambiguous.
How could you? It had Neferu in it. How dare you?
That's true. I am Neferu's voice actor. I should appreciate that. You're right.
How dare you
Was-
neglect the best boy? Okay.
I will.
was a
I will pay
traumatic
for my
experience.
transgressions by absolutely chewing the scenery next week.
I am sending a
Hypothetically.
hitman to your house right now.
No.
Hypothetically,
By the way, are
it
there
would be
any
his
more
first time
scenes with
bottoming.
the Are there any more scenes with
Yes.
the Triumvirates anymore?
Don't think so.
Yes.
There are.
Okay.
There are.
If I
Are
remember
there?
correctly, there's a triumvirate announcements after the third trial.
Ooh.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
Oh, the
Is that a thing
third
that
trial is
happens?
going to kill us all.
Oh.
I can't wait.
Today was a roller coaster.
I can't wait for
This session
next
was a
week.
roller
Ah.
coaster. Oh my god.
I joined like halfway through, so I don't know if anybody's like already voicing Alexios or if they were just gone when I got there. But it was really cool, yeah.
Hey Cam, if you could please take Alexios off of my shoulders, I would be so fucking happy.
I definitely can, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you did great.
Please,
Welcome to the
please,
theater,
please,
Chris, I'm
please.
gonna send you the updated cast list. I took some notes for it.
Awesome, thank you.
Um,
But,
You're doing
The
this
cast
like
is ever
every
expanding.
Saturday, is that it?
yeah, this is
Saturday?
every Saturday at 5 p.m. EST.
Alright, Slay. I'll
Mhm.
be there then.
So it's 2 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. and I think it's
It's like
10
11 p.m. French time.
Yes, it's 10 p.m. English time, UK time, and then
I am in.
We are in UK time, yes.
Yeah.
We are in UK time, but yeah,
Hey,
I
what
think
time
like,
zone is it, Guile?
bro, I don't. It's I don't know. A fucking it's Greenwich time zone. I think
Oh yeah,
that's the name
Greenwich
of it.
Standard Time or something.
Yeah.
Oh, GST.
Greenwich. Greenwich Standard Time. Fucking French time.
Not the French time.
Oui, oui.
It's always the French, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Technically, Portugal is in Western European time. which
Good
is-
reading today, though. Well done.
Right? I'm so happy. Everyone was so good.
We really
Actually-
all deserve to feel as proud as we are for pulling this off.
And we got Haps here dropping some fat art. We got Keith here.
Oh my god.
It's
Let's
a
go to America's
W.
Got Talent and do a live reading of
And
Adastra.
again,
so
thank
many
you,
people.
Zion, for hosting.
Yes,
Of
thank
course,
you.
thank you, Chris. Thank you as always.
And I
Thank
will
you.
continue to host because I look forward to this every fucking week without
Me
without
too.
fail.
And are you hoping to host? Are you looking to host Echo too?
Yeah, I mean the thing is like if it's going
I
to be
am-
the same time slot, I have no issues.
It will be the same time slot, I believe, because like, what is replacing Adastra?
Yeah.
Reading time. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would easily be able to do that. That wouldn't be an issue. It's just like, you know, I'm gonna be probably voicing the main female character if there are no
Let's
other
go.
girls on the server. So
Jenna Pog.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jenna. Yes.
Jenna Love, yes.
Yeah, and so this
Jenna
is gonna
is
be the
the
first
best.
time that I'm gonna see the Jenna ending because I haven't played Echo and I also am like very anti-het in my content, so I am.
She's just like me for
I-
real.
Yeah. I'm
Did
a
you already
proud
write
Echo
down?
sheep.
Did
I've
you
never
already write
played Echo
down
either.
who wanted to voice you?
I can't wait to hear French Carl. Sorry.
I kind of lost track. I was trying to write some of that down, but I lost track.
I'll just go ahead. I'll go ahead and just message you who I am.
Well, actually, you know what we should do? We should make a thread.
We should make
for,
another thread.
The Echo planning.
Echo reading night.
Echo reading night.
Echo reading night.
Yay.
So can someone do that and then tag it in No Mic too?
No. Do it in
Well,
Echo
where would you put it? And just Echo chat?
It's in Echo chat and make a thread.
Okay, all right,
I
hold
can
on.
do that.
One
I
person
can do
make it.
that.
One person make it. We
No,
don't want to make
every single
several of
person
them.
here make a separate thread now.
Knox,
There's
go
gonna
make
be
it.
like
I'll make it.
5,000
I'll make
shreds.
it. I'll make it.
Yeah.
I'll make it.
Take
you,
McSkinny,
Knox, yeah.
fucking shake his head and have to delete 25 of them.
He's gonna come running in here. What the hell are you guys doing?
Alright,
Oh
I'm
my
sending
goodness.
it.
All right, it's up.
Yay!
There you go.
It's happening.
Have fuck you join. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna stop the stream so that we can just like start doing logistics and planning and stuff. If anybody needs to leave, go ahead and say that now.